September 19th, Monday, the last day of my tour. 13-day tour of Sri Lanka, been fabulous. And looking through the hotel there, looking through the glass doors into the river. And my room was just upstairs here, 3 levels up. This hotel was built by the owner who worked overseas for about 20 years to save the money to build this hotel. Now I'm the only guest because of the downturn in the tourist industry. Most hotels are empty. I was the only guest here. Just leaving the hotel and on our way to Colombo. One of the little railways, and then there's the lake the hotel's located on, and continuation of the lake, or the river, Bentota River. A few boats out there this morning. 10 o'clock in the morning. We're just over 60 kilometres from Colombo. This is Bentota town. Main street of Bentota. Bike riders and tuk-tuk riders lining up for fuel, I think. So there still is a shortage of fuel in the major cities, so we haven't had any trouble getting fuel. There's one of the crazy drivers in the red buses up above, up ahead. Traffic's pretty crazy this morning, but Monday morning everyone's off to work. One of the crazy red bus drivers. Try to run everyone off the road. See the lane on the buses. They drive crazy. Now we're just 27 k's from Colombo. Just on the edge of Colombo here. We're in Colombo now. This is a statue of some famous person. I don't know who it is, and I'm not sure whether we know who it is.
Yeah.
In the distance is the President's offices. So we're surrounded by the parliamentary buildings. The clock tower up in front here. That's the President's house there.
Yeah, no one coming inside. Go right now.
This is the President of Sri Lanka's house. Doing very nicely, thank you very much. This is the Sri Lankan Central Bank. So this magnificent building here is over 200 years old. We're in central Colombo. Is it?
Grand Oriental Hotel.
Grand Oriental Hotel, another English style building. And this is the famous plantation house. Interesting architecture.
Just we see bank building.
Silda Souza started the Colombo Young Men's Buddhist Association. Very nice building in the background, Buddhist style. And then across the other side of the road are these buildings here, brightly coloured. tallest building in Colombo. And this is Sri Lanka's #1 casino. Entrance anyway. This is the tallest building in Colombo in Sri Lanka. It's called the Lotus Tower. There's people lined up to go in, with the fast lift up. It's only open a week ago. So we're just going to get a few shots of it. Long lines of people waiting to enter the Lotus Tower because it's only just opened. It takes 19 seconds to get up to the top. Colombo Lotus Tower. It's 500 rupees for adults and 200 rupees for children under the age of 10.
Construction work on Colombo's symbolic landmark, the Lotus Tower, began in 2012 with an estimated cost of $104.3 million. 80% of the estimate was agreed to be funded by China, while the remainder of funding was provided by the Sri Lankan government. Although its construction was planned to be completed in 2015, the tower was partially declared open in September 2019 and has remained non-operational to date. The Colombo Lotus Towers, at a height of 356.3 meters, is the tallest telecommunication tower in South Asia, the 11th tallest structure in Asia, and the 19th tallest in the world. A Chinese company granted $88.65 million, and the rest of the expenditure was borne by the Sri Lankan government, and construction of the tower was completed and handed over to the Sri Lanka government on the 28th of February this year, when operations commence on the 15th of September. Entry tickets to the tower will be priced 500 rupees or 2,000 rupees for Sri Lankans, while tickets for foreigners will be priced $20.
These are the new modern apartments, most expensive ones, apartments in Colombo. Fabulous lake in the middle of Colombo, looking over the high rises and across towards those expensive apartments. Expensive by Sri Lankan standards, but not by Australian standards. Probably around 100,000 Australian dollars, I'm told, which is about 25 million Sri Lankan. There's the pagoda in the middle of the lake. The Buddha's on some ducks about to go for a swim. Quack, quack, quacking. This is Colombo Library. It's 1:10 and Neville has generously brought me to his beautiful house here, just off a laneway. Looks a very nice house. And this is where Neville and his wife live, and his wife works as a teacher, Neville works as a guide. So we're just going to have something to eat in here. Very generous of Neville to do this. And this is Neville's family outside his house, and Neville over here on the left. We're just about to go to the hotel in Negombo, end of the tour, day 13. And the cat, family cat down there, just like we've got. Very nice family, had a great time. Thank you very much. In the distance is the Lotus building we visited this morning. It's just after 3 o'clock and we've arrived at the Optimum Residences, where I'm staying the next 2 nights before they drop me at the airport on Wednesday morning. Dropped off at 5 o'clock, get to the airport 5:30 in the morning. Not as flash as all the hotels I've stayed with under Mango Tours, but they provide a free shuttle to the airport, which is what I needed on Wednesday morning. Okay, see you later after 9 days together with Neville. Neville's heading back to his family in Colombo. It's about a 40-minute trip. About 1 kilometre from where I'm staying is San Sebastion Church. This is the church where Easter Sunday, April 21st, 2019, a suicide bomber entered the church and blew himself up, killed 114 people and wounded hundreds. There were 5 coordinated suicide bombs that day, killing 263 people at 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels. Over 500 people were killed, worse, over 500 people were injured, and 20% of those killed were children. This is the site of one of the bombings. 114 were killed at this site. It's a beautiful church. Why you'd want to bomb this, I don't know. Some Muslim radical decided to set off a suicide bomb and kill 114 people, injured hundreds, killed over 30 kids. This is a beautiful site and huge grounds. There's a plaque here commemorating. Here's a plaque commemorating those who were killed in the bombing. One of 6 bombings that occurred nearly simultaneously. And these are the names of the people who were killed. This is the main part of the church. The bomb was set off inside, near where the choir was, so that's the reason why so many children were killed. There are 8 bombers, all suicide bombers, so they're all killed, and over 260 people in total killed throughout Sri Lanka. I'm now inside the church. The suicide bomber set off his bomb up near the front of the church, near where the choir was singing. So, bomb was set up around this area. Obviously he died in the explosion. It killed 114 other people, innocent people, men, women and children, and hundreds of people were injured. I just found out from one of the parishioners that this is where the suicide bomber entered. There's a plaque inside the door. Just prior to the bombing, you can see the bomber walking past the door with his backpack full of explosives. Here's some of the results of the bombings. San Sebastion Church. Some of the dead bodies been covered. This is in the courtyard just outside the church. Church is to the left. Huge church, probably in about an area of 5 acres. The bomb was set off in this church because this is where most of the Christians in Sri Lanka live, in Negombo. And
you can see inside the shop.
And this is where the priest was, and the choir to the left and right. Why someone would be so crazed to do this, I don't know. Innocent people. These are the doors where the bomber entered. So it was at the front of the church. So the bomber entered this door, and there's a glass panel in the tiles signifying where he blew up, where he set off the suicide bomb. and that's where the priest was up here. So anyone sitting in this area here was generally killed. 114 people killed in this area and about 200 injured. I just spoke to someone here who said his sister was here, she got injured. Got a piece of bomb in her body. Shocking thing to happen. People praying. Easter Sunday of all days. This is a magnificent church set in 5 acres with such a variety of exhibits here, statues, etc. Should be on any tourist list of things to see. Even if you're not Christian, it's just a magnificent monument. This is the back of the church. Huge areas, very well kept. And the surprising thing is there's no charge for entry, however you do have to show your passport for security. There's a couple of security guards on the gate because of the trouble they've had. They do suspect another suicide bombing. This is just looking from the north towards the church. Church in the centre there. The entrance door is virtually opposite me where the bomber entered the church, blew himself up. And we look in the distance, there's 2 security guards carrying guns because they're afraid that there may be another attempt at a suicide bomber, even though it was 2.5 years ago. You can see 2 security guards in the background there, or 3 actually. So they do regard this church as being under threat. And there's the plaque in the background for those who were killed. So a fellow just came out of the door where the suicide bomber entered. Just down on the left. So after the church, I'm heading down the street into Negombo city, going to get some tourist things, some souvenirs. Sri Lankans have been very friendly and very welcoming. I was walking along the road, the guy stopped his push bike and put me on his luggage rack, his push bike, to take me to the church. It was about half a kilometre. So I've had absolutely no trouble, everyone's been very friendly. It's been a great trip. Today it's quite warm, it's about 30 degrees. I'm walking. I just walked about 1 kilometre from San Sebastion Church. Quite warm, but it's a little bit of a breeze. I still am sweating though. Haven't seen any tourists today. I've probably only seen 20 in total at the tourist sites in 16 days. And this is Colombo city. Just going to look, see if I can pick up some souvenirs. Sick of walking, so instead of walking 500 metres, I'm just paying about 50 cents for a coffee. So heading home after 17 days in Sri Lanka. It's okay to cheer everyone. Flight's a little bit late, it's 7:30 takeoff, but it's already 7:30 we're on this bus heading towards the plane. So because I didn't have a boarding pass because the computer wouldn't work, or the website wouldn't work, I had to go out of the airport through immigration. It took 35 minutes in immigration. Had to fill in another Singapore arrival card, which again took about 15 minutes. Went through immigration, got my boarding pass, and then had to come back through immigration to enter the airport again. What a disaster. So I reward myself with a sweet and sour chicken.